Hello everyone. How's it going? So if this all goes as planned, this is the first time that you're seeing me. I just want to start with welcoming you to my Earth Science and North Slope class. Both of these classes are going to start off pretty much the same way, and I just really want to welcome all of you because I'm super excited to get this year started. So we're going to be starting pretty much online with the small exception of a number of students who may not have access to the internet. If you don't have access to the internet, you're still probably going to be working digitally. So if you don't have either of those things, which is a possibility, I will be handing out books and paper packets, which is not the ideal situation. I'd like for us to interact on a daily basis. I want to make sure that I get to know each and every one of you, and this is how we're going to start it. So I'll be posting this video online, and it will also be available offline, hopefully through either a USB drive or preloaded on your computer. So let's go ahead and get started with today's lesson, which is what are we going to do for the next 4 weeks? So I have a lot of plans, and I've been getting ready to do this for weeks now. My classroom is filled with dirt, it's filled with light, and I have a bunch of seeds. So what are we going to do with all that stuff? Well, the first question I'm going to ask is, how do we get this, from this, what is that? These are sunflower seeds, to become this. What are the requirements to make life happen? So that's the essential question I want you to be asking yourself throughout this entire video. So what do we need for life to happen? So starting with the 27th, we are going to get introduced. I plan on having Zoom meetings on a daily basis. I plan on handing out a syllabus on the 27th, digitally or preloaded or paper copy. And what my expectation is that on Friday, that 28th, I would like to have your acknowledgement that you have read and understood the syllabus, because there's going to be a lot of things in there that you'll need to know so that we can all be successful. So on the Friday, first assignment due, one day after school, sign syllabus. So that could be, if you're online, just saying, hey, you read the syllabus, or if you have a paper packet, that would be physically turning it into the school. Okay, so let's go ahead and just go through the next 3 weeks. Okay, this also, you might be able to see what I have written here, but I will post a whole calendar timeline for everybody. Next week on Monday, we will be introduced to our terrarium project. So this is our first real assignment. So you may know what a terrarium, you might not know what a terrarium. A lot of people, when they hear that word, maybe think of lizards or snakes, things that require kind of a desert landscape. But we're going to be doing an Arctic biome terrarium. This will get us to explore our natural world, and hopefully you'll get to answer those questions, what are the requirements for life, by observing your terrarium. So we'll start that on the 31st. On the 1st of September, we are going to try and identify the plants that you have found for your terrarium, and I'll tell you how to label that here in a moment. And then on Wednesday, we're gonna actually have that physical discussion of what are those requirements for life. And I'm not going to tell you what the specific ones are. I want you to tell me, and then we're going to bring it all together and figure out if, as a class, we can figure that out without me spoon-feeding you that information. So on the 3rd, bringing together that essential question, we're going to observe, record, and analyze. And I'm going to shorthand this with ORCA, O-R-C-A. Observe, record, analyze. This is an incredibly important concept in my classroom, but not just in my classroom, but in science in general. In order to really understand what you're doing, you have to observe, you have to record data, and you have to be able to bring all that together and figure out what it is you're seeing through analysis. So we'll talk about that. And then on the 4th, I want everybody to have that terrarium project completely done. So you will present it to me either with a Google Slides, physically in person. Well, that might mean you just drop it off at the front of the school. We maintain our distance, or that could just be you taking a picture of it and sending it to me. Or if we're in a Zoom meeting, you could show me then too. So. And then also, you'll notice every Friday I have a vocab quiz. This is something that I think is important. A lot of students in my experience have struggled with the vocabulary, and I'm going to place an emphasis on everybody making sure that you guys have that vocabulary down pat. Some of the words maybe will be stupidly simple to you, and some of them you'll take weeks to master. But that vocab is incredibly important. So here in a moment, we will move on to week 2. Okay, so week 2, we have Labor Day on the 7th. I'm pretty sure that since it's a national holiday, you technically won't have school, but because we're in this online format, I don't think that's going to matter as much, but I don't have anything there on the 7th. On the 8th, again, continuing to answer that question, what are the requirements of life? We're going to look at how elements and stars are related to those requirements. And then on the 9th, we have a new essential question discussion. Week 3, how is, now over here it's a little wonky, how is everything related to the formation and death of stars? So part of the earth science curriculum is understanding a star's life cycle and our place in the universe. So the formation and death of stars is related to everything that we are. Everything you know and love relates to the formation and death of stars in not just our solar system or our galaxy, but throughout the entire universe. And we're going to get into a lot more depth there. So we will have that discussion there on Wednesday, and then Thursday, testing in ORCA. So testing, we have a lot of elements on our periodic table. You can't quite see it up there, but there are so many things we can explore with elements. We can look at how they burn in fire and observe the different colors that we see. We can see chemical reactions. A simple one everybody knows of is the old volcano where you have baking soda and vinegar and it explodes. So we're going to do some various testing using supplies we can find at home. So I'm not going to do any at-home explosions, but I will show you a couple cool things here in the classroom via video. And then, of course, ORCA, you have that terrarium. Don't throw it away. Please don't throw it away. We're going to observe, record, and analyze from the second week of it growing, because there will be changes. Maybe they'll be good, maybe they'll be bad, but we're going to analyze why we are seeing what we're seeing. And then on Friday, we have another vocab quiz. And I'm also considering extending another concept quiz here as well. So be on the lookout for that. My quizzes are not a one-attempt thing, especially since we're doing it online. You will be allowed multiple attempts, so don't fret on the quizzes. Just make sure you get them done, all right? All right, let's continue with the following week. This will be starting on September 14th. We are going to start exploring not just stars, but our star, our solar system, the sun, and what those parts are of the sun and how that energy gets to us. So our question for that week is, how do we get energy from the sun? And again, thinking back to week 1, how does that relate to the requirements for life? So we're going to just do a little introduction to the sun. And on the 15th, Tuesday, we'll explore the layers of the sun and the density requirements to make those layers. And we're going to do another at-home experiment where we're going to make layers exploring density at home with materials around you. So this, again, is a totally safe thing you can do at home. And I look forward to seeing what you guys come up with. That following Wednesday, maintaining the pattern we have here, an essential question discussion. So our essential question, what was it? Well, how do we get energy from the sun? I'm not going to give that to you again. You're just going to talk amongst yourselves. I will help facilitate, and you'll answer, hopefully with little help from me, how we get our energy from the sun. Now, you'll get that information to discuss that. It might sound complicated at this point from these 2 days here. So how do we get energy from the sun is part of our curriculum, and it'll help you understand hopefully what you're seeing with your observations, your recordings, and your analysis with your terrarium project. We're going to continue seeing changes in our terrariums. Again, maybe some things are dying, but maybe you're getting new growth. Maybe you're seeing flowers now at this point. And I've done this. I've been practicing making terrariums at home to see what we'll see, and I've been seeing a lot of interesting changes. So I hope that you guys get to see the same thing. And then also on the 17th, we will talk about sun convection, and I'll probably do a demonstration here about how the sun uses convection to, again, answer that question, how do we get energy from the sun? On the 18th, I'm putting unit tests, so be ready for that. Unit tests are usually a one attempt thing. Now, with the fluidity of our current situation, I may change that, but I want you to be prepared for taking a test 1, 2, 3 weeks after we get started, okay? And again, on the 18th, we have a vocab quiz. So hopefully you will be in the habit for getting into a vocab quiz on Fridays. But that unit test will be on top of that. Now, when you get in school, we will be having an hour and a half class sessions. So I'm planning on giving you the level of teaching, hopefully online or remote learning, however we're doing that, for an hour and a half worth of teaching a day. So there's going to be a lot of wiggle room in the beginning because we'll have students trickling in, but I want to make sure that you are aware of those expectations. So here in a moment, we will get in more detail about that terrarium project.